Hi guys, it's Ray. I am starting a new cup today. I am finally starting with the February subscription box from Butterfly Lane Designs. So I didn't have any black spray paint, so I went with navy as my base, and I'm going to do, I'm going to use the Tack It method, and I'm going to use Chameleon powder, and I'm going to use a mix of champagne and plum. And hopefully this vinyl will work with this when it's done. If not, maybe I'll shift gears and pick something else. But this is the plan for this one. Live simply, bloom wildly, and this vinyl. So I'm going to set those to the side. I have some Tack It over and over mixed with water to thin it down a little bit. This is the Tack It over and over from Aleen's, and you want it thinned out so it spreads nicely. So what I'm going to do is take a soft brush and give it an even coat. And when this is dry, you won't see any of the white. That's how you know you're ready to move on. You don't want any goopy spots. I actually picked up way too much to begin with. So it's a little cool in here today, so this coat's going to take a bit to dry. But once this coat is dry, I'll come back in, do a second coat, and then we'll go on to our actually applying the micas. Coat 2. Okay, so this is ready to go. I'm going to put my champagne color on the top first. Top half-ish. Way too much. Like I said, I'll see if this will even work with the vinyl I picked initially. I'm prepared to pivot if I have to. Because you never know how these are going to look when you're going in with a Chameleon, especially over a variable base. So there's that color. I'm not going to worry about cleaning the brush because it's already pretty clean and a similar color family. This should just blend right into this one. I should have put a glove on both hands. I'm going to be absolutely covered in shimmer. And I'm just going to start burnishing this down. The mica's not laying down like a glitter will do, so this is a different final appearance than doing a Tack It glitter. Don't expect the same type of result. And I may put a little bit of a cheat glitter into the epoxy at some point. I haven't decided yet. But right now we just have a kind of chromish looking cup in champagne and plum. So, I'm going to grab that vinyl real quick. That actually matches really well. I might put a little bit of the touch of rose in though, just to give it a little more oomph and pull it together. So, we're going to get this over, we'll get it on a turner and get a coat of epoxy. Okay, so I'm going to get the coat of epoxy on this. I'm very tempted to put some touch of rose diamond dust in. But I'm going to hold off, see how this looks with just a coat of epoxy, and then maybe add some on top after. Because the epoxy is going to vibrant this up. Match up the vibrancy? I don't know what I'm trying to say. Bring out the vibrancy. Enhance the vibrancy. Okay, so we are ready to move on with this one. I'm going to trim my decal down. And I'm going to use this vinyl, and I'm going to use the black textured metallic tech wrap. So what I want to do with this one is a V-split. But I'm not going to use the black as a pinstripe. I'm going to use it as an accent strip. And then we'll stripe it separately. So I want to do a thin black stripe. About, I'm going to do about 3/4 of an inch. Hopefully this will cut cleanly. They look good. And that was bad. Let's see. So this cup is about 8 1/4 tall. Because I'm going to add that other stripe on top. I think I'm going to go 5 1/2. Because that'll give me 6 1/4 overall. So, no, I'm going to go with 6. That's 9 though. I'm going to go with whatever this gap in my plate is. Which is slightly more than 6 maybe. And let's see, what do I want for an overlap? I'm going to do 10 1/2 around. Okay. And I'm going to mark my top at nothing because I lost my pencil. I'm gonna mark my top at 5 1/4 because that'll be halfway. See? And then I'm just going to cut the points off even. One. Two. And I don't think I'm going to put anything on the bottom of this one. I think I'm going to let the Chameleon shine. I don't think it really matters what's the front on this one. It's all about the same. And I did not cut I didn't cut an anchor. I moved it. Let's see if I got that line back up right. I either did or I didn't. Not bad. The pinstripe will cover that, so I'm good. I'm going to run these here. I'm just going to run as close to the vinyl as I can get it. The pinstriping will cover any little gap. And I do want to try and neaten this up a little bit. That's why I didn't push down really hard yet. So I'm going to take a blade and a straight edge. A sharper blade would be better, but that's off center. That's not good. Shoot. See, this is why I don't mess with these, because I've already messed it up. That should have been to the overlap. Alright. Let's try to do better this time. So this whole piece can come up. There. That worked much better than this one. I think this will be okay though once it gets some epoxy over it. Decal's gonna go on. I'm not gonna worry too much about an anchor point on this one. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it into place, because that always goes well for me. So that is that. And we will be doing some pinstriping, but we're going to put a coat of epoxy on it first. And then I'm kind of leaning on the bright gold. I think is going to look good on here. So, but I may change my mind and switch to the purple or the pink, because that'll actually go really, really well. Or I may do a thick stripe of this one, and then where's the skinnier one? I may use both of these. So we're gonna get this over to the turner, get a coat of epoxy on it. Okay, so I am gonna put just a tiny bit of the Touch of Rose diamond dust in here. Probably about half of what you see me normally use, because I don't want a lot in this case. I just want a little tiny hint. Okay, so I am ready to get the stripes on this one, and then we'll be done with it. So I'm gonna do the like complete crisscross of the tape. I'm gonna bring it all the way down instead of ending it at the points. just cut my epoxy. It'll be fine though, it'll fill in. I'm going to use this one on here. And the last piece is going to be the bottom piece, which we're going to go back to the thicker purple for. So that's going to be it. We're going to take this over and get another coat on it. And I may add just another touch of a cheat in here. Okay, so my epoxy is mixed. I was back and forth on whether I want to use a little more touch of rose or if I wanted to switch to the touch of violet. I really like the way the rose is pulling all of the color, so I think I'm going to stick with that. And I'm going to use just about the same amount that I did last time. Do I really need it? No. But do I really like it? Yes. So, I'm just going to do a little more. I'm going to torch this quick. My torch is low on fluid, but should be able to get through this. I used a lot of nail tape on this, so I'm going to want to torch it lightly. I've gotten a lot of comments, or a couple of comments, I shouldn't say a lot, about people who've used this nail tape and say that it lifts. You can use like this CCDIY quick coat to coat that if you're getting repeated lifting. But I find that the only time it lifts for me is if I like heat it too much. Sometimes I'll make it shrivel a little bit or lift on the ends. If I'm gentle with my heat, I won't get that very often. But yes, it does happen to me sometimes, and most of the time it's my own fault. I am not a big fan of sealing anything on a cup before I have to move on to the next step. To me, it's just extra steps and extra layers of stuff. So it's just a matter of keep your torch moving, and or your heat gun, or keep your heat gun if that's what you're using at this stage, on a lower setting. And yes, my cup is tilted right now, which is going to lead to a fat bottom if I overheat this also. But I only used about 15 mLs of epoxy in this coat, so it really shouldn't be too bad. Like I said, my torch is about out of fluid. I do have more, I just didn't fill it yet, so. But yeah, if your pinstripes are lifting, you're probably either not sticking them down hard enough to begin with, or, like I said, overheating them. Those are typically the only time I have a problem with them. And if they do lift, sometimes you can go right over on the next coat, like do another layer over and then recoat on top. It's not usually that noticeable. So I'm just cleaning my hands off because I did touch something sticky. And I don't have any of my sugar scrub made up. But that's going to be it for this one. Like, hopefully, literally it. I am absolutely thrilled with the way the mica ended up matching so well. I mean, it's got that gradient that is like a perfect match. So, I'm really happy with this one. The bottom we just left plain on this one. And there's our vinyls. So, that is it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any other questions you need answered a little bit better. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.